Hi, my name is Reverend Jill Plant, and I'm with the Central Oregon Connectional Ministry Project. Our gospel reading for this Sunday is Mark 1, verses 21 through 28. They went to Capernaum, and when the Sabbath came, he entered the synagogue and taught. They were astounded at his teaching, for he taught them as one having authority, and not as the scribes. Just then there was in their synagogue a man with an unclean spirit. And he cried out, "What have you to do with us, Jesus of Nazareth? Have you come to destroy us? I know who you are, the Holy One of God." But Jesus rebuked him, saying, "Be silent and come out of him." And the unclean spirit, convulsing him and crying with a loud voice, came out. They were all amazed, and they kept on asking one another, "What is this? A new teaching with authority. He commands even the unclean spirits, and they obey him." At once his fame began to spread throughout the surrounding region of Galilee. This is the word of God for the people of God. Thanks be to God. In this passage from the Gospel of Mark, we are shown both the authority of Jesus' teaching and the immediacy of Jesus putting the teaching into action. It is important to note that this is the first public ministry action by Jesus in the book of Mark. Those present in the community notice right away that Jesus teaches as one who has a deeper knowledge and authority more than the scribes who typically teach from the scriptures. Mark is establishing the authority which Jesus has been given from God to teach and to be trustworthy. We also recognize that Jesus teaches in the synagogue, in the established space for gathering and learning from the scriptures. The gathered community witnesses this teaching first, and then sees Jesus immediately move into action. While we don't know the exact scriptures Jesus taught, we see how Jesus deals with the unclean spirit. Jesus is not afraid to address the unclean spirit, to silence it, and call it out of the man. This action is done in love and not in violence. Jesus does not destroy the unclean spirit as it fears he will, or maybe tempts Jesus to, but instead Jesus liberates the man who had lost self-control to the unclean spirit. The authority of Jesus is once again established through action. I admit that I am a bit of a bookworm, and I would prefer to sit with a cup of coffee, a warm quilt, and read all day long if I don't have other obligations. I have learned so much from the books I read and the experiences the authors share through the written word. Add to that the fact that I am an idea person, and my brain can go wild coming up with so many ideas and ways to be creative. I can come up with a lot of answers and brilliant ideas. But how do we know we are on the right track with our thinking when we do this secluded and alone? Alone, we can convince ourselves of almost anything. But I believe that it's when we gather in community and discern our thoughts with each other that we have the opportunity to see the gifts of each person. It's through that community discernment that God has called us, not to be individuals and alone. Well, the good news is that following Jesus leads to sound learning and liberating action through discernment and community. The definition of discernment is the ability to judge well, or perception in the absence of judgment with a view to obtaining spiritual guidance and understanding. Discernment is a process in our faith community to check our thoughts and beliefs with what the scriptures say and to inform our actions. We can learn and grow in community by using the guidance of the Spirit to see if we are thinking and acting in love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. When we align our thoughts and actions in discernment with others, it leads to growth and transformation, which then leads to liberation and life. Imagine the places in our lives that could be freed up or liberated by aligning our thoughts and actions. Where are the places in our community that need transformation through love? How would discernment in our faith community make an impact on the ways we show up in the world? We have a unique opportunity in John Day, Madras, and Bend to do this work of discernment, both in each location and collectively in the region. How can the ministry work of each of us be brought together for a mission that connects the region? What are the dreams and hopes we all have for sharing the transforming and liberating love of Jesus? As we begin this discernment work together, I am reminded of the powerful statement of faith of the United Church of Canada. We are not alone. We live in God's world. We believe in God, who has created and is creating, who has come in Jesus, the Word made flesh, to reconcile and make new, who works in us and others by the Spirit. We trust in God. We are called to be the church, to celebrate God's presence, to live with respect in creation, to love and serve others, to seek justice and resist evil, to proclaim Jesus crucified and risen, our judge and our hope. In life, in death, in life beyond death, God is with us. We are not alone. Thanks be to God. May it be so.